So, CPT Japan is over. The premiere, the big super major that they had over there is over. It concluded just yesterday. Today being Monday, for those watching it now. This might go out a little bit later. But regardless, the event's over. And first place was Tokido. Second place was Leshar. And I'm a big fan of Leshar. Leshar is definitely one of the rising stars of the Street Fighter competitive scene right now. And I can say with a straight face, like, that dude is just ridiculous. I love watching him play. He's like a masterclass player, and he's still got a lot to learn. You know what I'm saying? He's still pretty young. I think around like 26, 27, somewhere in that ballpark. He's still got a lot to learn. And for where he's at right now as a player, he's pretty damn dangerous. You know, he originally started out Street Fighter 6 as Chun-Li, and I think his Chun-Li was really, really, really good. I learned a lot from him when I was playing Chun-Li at the time. But now he's moved on to Ed. You know, he had a Luke at one point, but I know he wasn't really feeling it like that. But Ed has seemed to fit his playstyle, and his ability to play Street Fighter 6 is just, I don't know, man. It's definitely poetry in motion, because that dude does things that, like, he just does things that I've just never seen people do with Ed. Like, not even just like, oh, well, his neutral game, his combos, his combos are insane. I don't think I've ever seen anyone do a lot of these combos I've seen him do with Ed. And it's very inspiring to see a player like Leshar, you know, pushing himself to be this good. You know, he moved from Korea to be a part of the Street Fighter League, courtesy of Tokido. And he's just been nothing but stellar, man. I can't even lie. I enjoy watching him play, seriously. Very inspiring player. I love seeing people who are, you know, big time on training and learning more about the game and pushing those aspects against people in the competitive environment. And that's exactly what he's been doing. And there's a tweet here that was translated from High Fight, and we're gonna take a look at what was said, because you know, at the end of the tournaments in Japan, they tend to let the players have a word, you know, and we're gonna take a look at this word. It is translated, but we're still gonna take a look at it regardless, and we're gonna see you know, what was said here, and we're gonna learn a thing or two. Let's check it out. All right, turn this up a little bit.
いかがですか。まあ本当に毎日隣で一緒に練習している本当に毎日なんですよ。週5とかじゃなくて週7オフィスで一緒に練習してる仲なので、まあでも嬉しいですね。そうやって一緒に切磋琢磨している、近いところで切磋琢磨している者同士で決勝を争えたっていうのが僕素直に嬉しいなと思いました。まあ今回結果は僕に傾いたんですけど、彼もね負けず嫌いなんで、今後我々のチームはもっと強くなります。
ありがとうございます。素晴らしい決勝戦でございました。決勝戦を振り返ってみ。
So for the translation, which is up here at the top, you guys can see it clear as day. We practice together at the office every day, not 5 but 7 days a week. I'm happy to play him in the finals, as we've been pushing each other through friendly rivalry. This time the results favored me, but he hates losing, so we'll both become even stronger in the future. And that's definitely on some pro tag energy, let me tell you. That's definitely some anime pro tag type stuff here, trust. But the reality is, they're practicing like crazy. And I thought something was very unique about Leshar since he's moved from Korea to Japan for Street Fighter League. And like, now that I know this about him and Tokido, I think he's gonna be the second coming of Tokido. I think he's gonna be Tokido Jr. 100%. I think that's kind of what's happening here. I think Tokido's trying to pass the torch on to this man, and that's gonna be crazy. I don't see Tokido retiring anytime soon, obviously, right? But Tokido's building a rival, and not only is he building a rival, this dude is building a monster, because his like, he made top 8 and was cooking. Okay, he's good in the Ed mirror, he's good against Akuma with Ed. Like, all the areas of the character's issues, he's ironing them things out, and he's playing so well. It's like, yo, that's crazy. And maybe, just maybe, I think this is a sign. Honestly, I think this is a sign for, you know, this is a sign for NA to kind of wake up. You know, we have people on the other side of the pond building friendly rivalries to push themselves as players. And sure, they're on the same team for Street Fighter League, but when they're in singles, yeah, we're on the same team in Street Fighter League, but when we're singles, you know, I gotta run the hands with you, you know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. But like, I feel like this is kind of where we are now, you know, like, we don't have enough of this. That's what I think. We don't have enough of this. I think this is sort of, I guess my sort of plea, or my like, hey guys, pay attention. You know, that they're, for the competitive players at least, you know, I think it's time to wake up and recognize what's happening on the other side of the pond. You know, ranked alone isn't enough. You know, practicing with a partner or having a good rival, I think, is important. You know, someone asked me this question before, do I think it's necessary? Technically speaking, no. But this right here is the result of having exactly just that. And I think when you do have that, it changes how you perceive the game. It changes how you look at things. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if these two are just having fun. You know? And it's another reason why I try to point out here when I'm streaming myself, like, why I love long sets, why I love long sessions and not just playing ranked. Obviously, having a mixture of all those things is nice, but to be real with you, I don't think Leshar would have as much, I don't think he would be as successful without playing Tokido as much as he did. And if he's playing Ken versus Ed for hours, and or even if Tokido's playing other characters to tighten him up, that's just as good. You know, because it's not like Tokido's not going to give him some high level experience. If not the absolute highest, it's enough to get Leshar on point to be able to fight matchups that, you know, are uncommon. But the good thing is over there, they're fighting a lot of the common characters. A lot of them tend to be the higher tiers. So him being able, I wouldn't be surprised if Tokido has an Akuma and he's just hiding it and just teaching Leshar how to beat it. I wouldn't find that surprising. I wouldn't. And if you just look at his current track record, Leshar that is, whether he's lost or not, his placements are showing. And he's placed second in the hardest region. I believe he was at Singapore. He did okay. He did pretty good for himself. I think it was top 16, top 24, somewhere in that ballpark. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. But in this one, he pulled, you know, second. Like, he's been growing since he's been in Japan. When he wasn't in Japan and playing mostly in Korea, he was doing pretty good for himself, to be honest. But now it's just, I think he's on a different level now. It's kind of scary. So I'm very much so looking forward to the future and seeing how these two are going to pan out. Because for those of you that don't know, Tokido is clearly one of my favorite fighting game players of all time. You know, a quick spiel on that is like, I liked how he's kind of transformed himself as a player from the way he was at in Street Fighter 4, moving into 5 and so forth. Like, he's just gotten a better mindset outside of just pick what's cheap and just cheese people out. Like, he's learned how to play his games a lot better, and he only focuses on one game now. Before, he just play every game and just cheese you out with the top tiers. Yeah, he's still playing somewhat top tier now. Obviously, Ken is a very good character in Street Fighter 6, right? That'd be a lie to say he's not. But, you know, even with Ken, you know, he's still pushing himself to be great. You know, he's a good Shoto player. He's always been a good Shoto player. Him not playing Akuma just means he just wants to have a more stable game plan for himself moving forward as a player. And I'm not surprised. Most people are upset at him for not playing Akuma, but regardless, that's neither here nor there. I just like how he's moved up as a player, and that's always been very inspiring for me, and seeing how much he's pushed himself as a player to, like, be great. And you don't really hear stories like that about players. It just tends to be, oh, well, they just lost this one tournament, now at the next one. You don't really hear the stories about, like, how much they've improved, what they've done to improve. But I've seen it with him, and I've kept up with his story, and it's like, him and Daigo to me will always be like the Goku and Vegeta, you know what I mean, of fighting games for me in particular, at least in the Street Fighter realm. So it's cool. It is what it is. Wasn't everyone saying he was waiting for Akuma? I mean, I think everyone knows that. Even he himself wanted to play Akuma, but like, the reality is, right, it's okay if you change your mind. Right now, where he's at, I think he just wants to stay consistent. Maybe Akuma is just not what he wants right now, and what he would prefer is what he's got currently. He doesn't want to undermine the amount of work that he's already put in with the game, which I could see that. So him not playing Akuma isn't really, while it may seem sad for those people who really want to see him play Akuma, I think maybe for his current stage and at the current stage of his career, it makes sense to stick with Ken until either Akuma fits his playstyle or he feels it's time for him to switch to Akuma, right? AKA if Ken gets nerfed really hard. But until that time, which I don't see Ken getting nerfed at all, like anything crazy, I think he's gonna be okay. I think Ken's still a good choice. I think Ken functions like the way Akuma did anyway. Instead of Demon Flip, you have Run. He has his combos are very similar to Akuma anyway. I think Run and Demon Flip are equally strong. I think Run is a little bit scarier because it's still grounded, whereas the Demon Flip, you can see them jump. Both have their nuances, both can be scary. But I think Tokido's fireball game has never been super amazing. So I think Ken's being the way it is more suitable for him, whereas Akuma, like, the fireball game is important. You do have to have those. So maybe it's more of that kind of thing where he just wants to keep that going for himself. I mean, I can't speak on it, you know, but that's just on the outside looking in, thinking about his track record with Akuma, his options, and the way he's playing him now feels and seems like he's playing Akuma as it is. So I digress. But moving forward past Tokido in this conversation here, I'm just looking forward to seeing the future of Leshar. I think he's going to be one of the monsters of Street Fighter 6 down the road. Even after he's done with his spiel with Street Fighter 6, not Street Fighter 6, but Street Fighter League, right? They might sign him again. I won't be surprised if the next season they sign him again and he stays with Tokido. If he does, man, this is gonna be the next, like, Japan SFL has been pretty interesting to watch with him in it, you know, and I would love to see what happens next. So I'm gonna be watching this kid real closely on his competitive journey. I think you guys should too. If you're interested in Ed or just watching someone who's just really talented at the game, this kid's the one to watch, man. He should definitely be on your radar. I'm gonna be real with you. I think he's if he keeps up this pace, he's a contender to either win Capcom Cup, which he was already high placing last year's Capcom Cup, right? He might be able to pull it off this year. Who knows? Maybe he might win. It could be these two in the finals again. You never know, you know? And even if not Capcom Cup, there's still other events. There could still be a Red Bull Kumite. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets invited. There could be, there's also Evo. There's other Evos coming up next year. Like, this kid has a chance to really, really make a name for himself here. You know what I'm saying?
Woo, I'm about to make a name for myself here.
So you never know. You never know. But that is my little spiel. If you guys have been keeping up with Leshar's journey, how you guys feeling about him? How you guys feeling about this guy? How you feeling about his gameplay? Just as a player, like, are you impressed as much as I am? Because I ain't gonna hold you, this guy's ridiculous. So talk to me in the comments below. Let me know. You know the deal. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. You know what time it is. Peace, love, and go play some video games. Deuces, gooses.